I appreciate your comments about allowing yourself to feel it. It makes me think about different times that we have moved from one community to another. And inevitably, when you know that you're going to leave, you start consoling yourself with, well, I didn't like that, or I didn't like that. Yep.
Yeah.
The Aesop's fable about the sour grapes. And it's almost like, as Christians, to assume that we're going to, because we know what's coming, be content here, that seems silly and backwards to me. And so, so the plight, unfortunately, is that we know the sin now. It's revealed to us because we have a hope in the perfection that's to come. So we are more discontent here than we would be if this were it, and if we were living for today only.
I'm reading a science fiction, fantasy fiction book called Mistborn, Brandon Sanderson's. It's pretty good. I've read it before. It's been a while. Really well written. And there's a character in it named Kelsier, and he's got his problems, but he's a good man. He's a protagonist. He's a main heroic figure in it. Mm-hmm. What I love is he just walks in a room and he smiles. And it doesn't matter what's going on, and you learn he doesn't always feel that way. Mm-hmm. He just does it. And so I've been in this little like dream prayer state of like, oh, maybe I can do it. Like, remember the other day when you walked outside on the patio and I smiled at you, and you're like, what's that smile for? I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna smile.
Yeah, because it wasn't a natural smile. It was kind of this like, and I was kind of like, is there a goose behind me that's going to attack and I don't know it? What's happening?
Well, that's your husband trying to be smart.
It was sweet. That's funny that you had that encouragement, because I had one as well.
But I share it because I'm just failing miserably.
Oh.
I really am not, and so like this idea that you're going to change your inner nature, I think you got to be real careful about that. I mean, I believe we can grow. I don't even necessarily believe you can't make a change in a moment. I'm reading Tony Robbins right now too, so it's kind of in the back of my head. He's got to prove it to me still, but like, I think you got to be real careful about what you expect of your flesh, and realize your flesh is going to be your flesh. And I'm not going to give up on this idea. No, I want to act more like Kelsier. I want to make this guy a hero who I try to be like, for the sake of joy in my family. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to hold myself morally accountable for that, as though to fail is somehow not believing in Jesus enough.
Yeah. And isn't it so hard when you're in the midst of depression to even think about that?
Yeah, it's impossible. You're so deep.
So ready to beat yourself up.
You're so deep. Which reminds me of, I mentioned a couple other those complex things that can cause it. Isolation. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned moves, being rootless, not having roots, not having a fundamentally built community that doesn't change. Mm-hmm. So there are so many things that have been done to us that feeling bad like makes a lot of sense right now. Like you're kind of superhuman or ignorant if you don't feel kind of bad right now.
And there are a lot of things in our society that we don't even think twice about anymore, like Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. They give us a very false sense of reality. And so the only response from being inundated with fake is to feel like you're not good enough. And when we don't feel good enough, we're going to be despairing.
Surrounding yourself with fake people that look better than you is going to make you feel like you're not very good. Surrounding yourself with other people who are struggling. That's what a church is, even if no one admits it there. Working toward admitting it. It's a good idea. That's going to lift you up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's one of the things I've liked about K-Love is as bad as some of the music actually is.
Yeah.
And as peppered as the heterodoxy may be, there's an ongoing awareness that, no, we don't really feel good. But praise does feel good. Mm-hmm. So at least we can do that. And it isn't like it makes it all go away. Sometimes they're asking for that, but the idea that no, I can praise anyway seems to be really really common in the music, and I like that because it isn't like I have to feel great. It's just sort of like, oh yeah, there's a God. His name's Jesus. He's got this thing.
So recently, I had this kind of epiphany moment where it was like, you know, how often do I see somebody I know out in public and not wave or say, hey, or maybe I don't even see somebody I know, but just in a scenario where I'm in the neighborhood and there's a neighbor, do I reserve my wave and my smile and my greeting because, oh, they're not going to hear me. Oh, they're not going to see me. Oh, they don't care that I'm here. And I thought, you know what? What if I just smiled and waved as if they were going to see me and were going to be happy to hear my greeting? And what would happen? It's like as I've experimented with it, I've walked away from those scenarios feeling like, you know what? That person didn't say hi back, but I said hi to them. Mm-hmm. And so there's none of that like, oh, I should have said hi. Oh, I wonder if they saw me and I didn't say hi. You know? Oh, now that was kind of rude. It's like your smile technique. Just smile. Just walk. There's a fear of interrupting.
I guess.
I'm not in that conversation. I wouldn't want them to miss out because I interrupted. And I don't know if that's being a woman or if it's being a Lutheran or if it's being an American. I don't know. But I definitely have that fear. And so I will actually not say hi to people.
Yeah.
For fear of interrupting.
Yeah.
Like, it's so ridiculous. At church, oh, they're in a group. I wouldn't want to interrupt.
There's this side of it where I'm pretty confident it is a result of being in too close a quarters with too many people who you do not know, and an awareness that there is danger in the civilization, that civility has broken down, that there are people who hate each other, that random acts of violence do take place. Of course, listening to the news makes you sound like this is happening more in your local area than it really is. But what has happened is all of us as social animal creatures are like away from the herd. We know we're away from the herd and we know we're possibly in enemy territory. And so we're on a higher defense social alert than we would have been in a small town in the 1950s where you kind of actually knew who everybody was, even if you didn't like them. Right. And so, you know, again, how does that leave you feeling? Well, not good. It doesn't leave you feeling good. Nobody feels good right now. I mean, if they are, they're special, or they're ignorant. Yeah.